What happens when a young African leader decides to defy the global system? What if a country says no to Western aid and walks away from crushing debt? Burkina Faso's 36-year-old leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré.
My name is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. I do not speak with the polish of career diplomats.
Is rewriting the rules. No more begging. No more dependency. In this video, we uncover how he's challenging neo-colonial powers, transforming his nation's economy, and sending shockwaves through the African continent and beyond. Stay with us, because this story isn't just about Burkina Faso. It's about a global shift that has already begun. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not just leading a government. He's leading a revolution of thought, of pride, and of policy. In a world where developing nations are often pressured to follow the same economic script, one that relies heavily on Western financial institutions and foreign aid, Traoré has boldly rejected that path. Since rising to power in 2022, he has declared Burkina Faso's independence in the truest sense, not just political, but economic, cultural, and psychological. And that is what truly makes his story so historic.
My name is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. I do not speak with the polish of career diplomats. For too long, the IMF has posed as a benevolent doctor prescribing economic treatment to sick nations. But what we've learned, what we've suffered, is that your medicine often kills the patient. Your loans arrive with smiles, but they are poisoned arrows wrapped in contracts. You speak of stabilization, but you deliver strangulation. You speak of reform, but what you really mean is obedience to models built in foreign labs never meant for African soil.
Burkina Faso, once known as Upper Volta, has long struggled under the shadow of colonialism and foreign interference. Although it gained formal independence from France in 1960, the grip of neo-colonialism remained strong. French troops stayed. Foreign corporations controlled resources. International lenders dictated economic policies. The country was free in name, but dependent in practice. Traoré, like Thomas Sankara before him, recognized that aid was never free. It was a tool of control. His decision to cut off Western assistance is not about isolationism. It's about dignity and self-determination. The move shocked the world. Global powers questioned his legitimacy. Western media labeled him a populist, a radical, even a dictator. But inside Burkina Faso, the mood is different. For the first time in years, people feel seen. Many in the population, especially the youth, view Traoré as a symbol of hope. He speaks their language, literally and ideologically. He doesn't hide behind bureaucratic language or diplomatic niceties. He speaks of the land, of sovereignty, of building an Africa that serves Africans first. Central to his vision is the idea of breaking the cycle of foreign debt. For too long, African nations have taken loans under the promise of development, loans that come with high interest, political strings, and little transparency. Traoré's stance is that no nation can be truly free while paying billions to creditors for debts they didn't even create. By rejecting further borrowing and beginning the process of resource nationalization, Burkina Faso is taking ownership of its destiny, literally and economically. Its gold, its cotton, its land, and its energy are being redirected to fund local development. This strategy also requires rethinking internal priorities. Traoré is not just cutting off aid, he's investing in human capital. His administration has launched training centers for young people, agricultural cooperatives in rural areas, and defense programs to reclaim territory from armed insurgents. Villages that were once cut off from national infrastructure are now part of community-led initiatives. The state is becoming more visible, not as an oppressor, but as a protector and partner. Security, of course, remains a massive challenge. Large parts of Burkina Faso are still under threat from terrorist groups operating in the Sahel. But Traoré's approach is different from past governments. Rather than relying solely on foreign troops, his strategy emphasizes self-defense and regional alliances. He is working closely with Mali and Niger, countries also led by anti-French, pro-sovereignty governments, to coordinate military efforts and share intelligence. This cooperation signals the birth of a new kind of alliance in West Africa, one based on mutual respect, shared history, and a common desire to be free from external dominance. Traoré's efforts extend beyond policy. They are deeply symbolic. From replacing French military bases with local command centers to changing school curriculums to reflect African history and identity, he is challenging centuries of cultural domination. His speeches often refer to the mental slavery left behind by colonization, arguing that freedom begins in the mind. And many young Africans are listening. They see in him not a perfect leader, but a courageous one, someone who dares to speak what others only whisper. But the risks are real. International pressure is mounting. Sanctions are looming. Foreign investors are pulling back. Burkina Faso's path will not be easy. The country still faces poverty, insecurity, and limited infrastructure. But for the first time in decades, it is walking that path on its own terms. That's what makes Traoré's leadership so historic. Not that he has solved every problem, but that he has refused to be a pawn in someone else's game. What we're witnessing in Burkina Faso is not just a national transformation, it's the early stages of a continental awakening. Across Africa, leaders and citizens are beginning to question the post-independence order that left them politically sovereign, but economically dependent. From Guinea to Mali to Niger, and even in places like Senegal and the DRC, people are watching Traoré and wondering if they too can break free. This is why Ibrahim Traoré's name is being painted on walls, shouted in protests, and printed on t-shirts across the Sahel. Not because he's perfect, but because he represents possibility. The possibility that Africa can rise, not by copying the West, but by reclaiming its own models of governance, economy, and identity. And so, when we say Ibrahim Traoré just made history, we are not exaggerating. We are witnessing a man who is challenging not just one system, but the very foundation of global inequality. He is standing where few dare to stand, in defiance, with conviction, and with a vision for something greater. Burkina Faso may be small on the map, but its heartbeat is echoing across an entire continent. The revolution may not be televised, but it is already underway. So now the world watches, some with fear, others with hope. What Captain Ibrahim Traoré has started in Burkina Faso is not just about removing foreign troops or rejecting aid. It's about rewriting the African narrative, from dependency to dignity, from silence to sovereignty. Yes, the road ahead is uncertain. Yes, the challenges are enormous. But for the first time in a long time, the people of Burkina Faso and millions across Africa are daring to believe that real change is possible. Not through charity, not through handouts, but through courage, unity, and self-respect. Whether history praises or condemns him, one thing is undeniable. Ibrahim Traoré has lit a fire. And once the fire of freedom begins to burn in the hearts of a people, no power on earth can put it out. This isn't just the story of one man. This is the awakening of a nation, and maybe the beginning of something far bigger. And there you have it. Ibrahim Traoré is rewriting the rules and making history, not just for Burkina Faso, but for all of Africa. No more waiting for Western aid, no more drowning in debt. This is the bold new path of self-reliance and sovereignty. Whether you agree with his methods or not, one thing is clear. Traoré has sparked a movement that can't be ignored. So, what do you think? Is this the beginning of Africa's true independence, or is it a risky gamble? Let's talk in the comments below. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories that the mainstream often ignores. Until next time, stay informed, stay bold.